Hey guys, this is Red Shadow here, and welcome back to the channel. And this is going to be another pickups video. I hadn't intended for this one and the last pickups video to kind of be as close as they are, but when I got back online and got back in front of the camera, I was like, well, I want to hurry up and do the big pickups video showing a bunch of stuff I picked up this year. Now I want to get back into something I was doing before a couple years ago, which was a once a month pickup video at the end of the month / at the beginning of the next month. This will be officially entitled July Pickups, even though it's only 7 games here to show off. But that way this can be kind of a quick video, pop it out there, and then get into a normal regular schedule again, hopefully. So anyway, without further ado, like I said, this is 7 games. These are all PS4 games that I bought this basically within the last 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Some limited run and just some stuff I ordered mainly from Best Buy. Well, and one Target. This first one came from Target, and we're going to get it out of the way because it's kind of a dud. But once it got to $20, I was like, I'll give this thing a chance. And so that first game is Ballon Wonderworld. This is a new game from Square Enix. If I recall correctly, this is from some developers who worked on like Sonic games of the past, or some other big franchise. They got together to make a new game, a new IP, and this is the game they made, Ballon Wonderworld. Basically a 3D platformer style game. It has pretty bad reviews and is kind of not considered to be really worth the money. Like I said, it was a $60 game upon its release just a few months ago, but I got it from Target for $20, and so I thought, well, yeah, because it looks like something I would play and at least try out. So if it's not great, I didn't overspend. Okay, so up next is the first of a few limited run game purchases, and this is a game called Simulacra, or maybe neither. This is I want to say like a PC horror, indie horror game, a short experience, and in the case of this one, it's about a person finding a woman's lost phone and getting weird messages and videos and stuff on that phone while trying to figure out what has happened to her and deciding like how you're going to react to the situation and even like what the lady's fate will be. Something that came out a couple years ago, looked really cool to me. It was a Steam game. Didn't have internet at the time. I never did watch a full playthrough for it, but I did see a few playthroughs, like portions of playthroughs, just to see what the game looked like. Thought it might be kind of cool, jump scare, mystery game. And so out of nowhere, earlier this year, Limited Run Games was like, we're putting out a physical copy of it. And so I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get that. So should be playing that pretty soon, and hopefully see what it's really like. Alright, this next game is one of the couple of games I got from Best Buy. This was clearance at Best Buy for $15. This is Arcade Spirits. This is a visual novel to add to my growing visual novel collection, of which I've never played a single game from that particular genre, but I feel like they're going to be something I will enjoy, so whenever I see an interesting one, I grab it. Part of the reason why I like this is because of its like art style. It's very colorful. It's literally about like an arcades, a story about arcades in the 80s type of thing. It says a visual novel in a time of arcades. And it's got a very colorful, animated look, steeped in, like I said, the 80s atmosphere of arcades, and I'm sure there's probably some 80s music and stuff like that going on in this. Like I said, for $15, I'm willing to take a chance, but I do need to get around to starting to play some of these visual novels. I have a ton of them. Next up is another limited run game, and it's another of Kemco. Let's see, Kemco's JRPG, like throwback style JRPG. This is Wizards of Brandel or Brandel. I think I mentioned in the last pickups video that I sort of, if one of these comes out and I've got the money and I'm not like waiting on another game of theirs, I'll pick these up. So I don't have every one that they've put out, but I have quite a few. These are one of the last games, the last kinds of games that are being put out by limited run games that aren't open pre-orders. These usually come up with like a 1,500 count run. That's another reason why I kind of have to make that decision when one of these pops up on the site. They'll have their 2 sales on that first day and are usually gone within the first day. Now, they don't sell out immediately like they used to, as some of the last games on LRG that would not have a 2, 4, or 6 week open pre-order. These used to go immediately. Like last year, any of these that would pop up would be gone day one. Now sometimes they last a little bit longer. But like I said, I try if they look interesting, but they all kind of look the same. And I know these kind of get like middling ratings and reviews, but I don't mind. They're usually relatively short. Once again, like the visual novels, I have not played a single one of these Kemco JRPG style games, but I'm glad to have them in the collection for when their time does come up in my backlog. That's Wizards of Brandel. Here's my next limited run pickup. This is a really cool one. This is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. When the original creator of the Castlevania games, or one of the main people that had to do with those, I can't remember his name, and I was hoping his name would be on the back of this, but it's not. But when he decided on his own to do like sort of a spiritual successor to the old Castlevania games, he kickstarted Ritual of the Night, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, a few years ago, of which I own, but as like I don't know if it was just a Kickstarter reward or just a project he decided to do for himself. Ritual of the Night has a little bit more modernized graphics, still the same kind of playing style, but he did Curse of the Moon, the first one, and it has the very like 8-bit style graphics of some of those older original Castlevania games. I'm not sure how well the gameplay windows are going to show up, but he made Curse of the Moon, and it was a digital only release until Limited Run put it out, and it must have done well enough that he decided to do a sequel, which is this one, and Limited Run did the physical for this. So very happy to have all of these. Excuse me. Very happy to have now all 3 of the Bloodstained games on PS4 physical. And no, I haven't played any of them yet. To be honest, Castlevania has never been like a really big game for me. Obviously, Symphony of the Night is a big one on the PS1, and I've basically owned that game ever since it came out. And I've played it a couple of times, just a little way in, to see what it was like. In the world of Metroidvanias, I lean more towards the Metroid side. Super Metroid, I love it. Zero Mission, Fusion, and the Samus Returns on 3DS. Metroid Dread for the Switch looks really great. Definitely something I want to check out eventually when I have a Switch again. Castlevania, on the other hand, is just, I guess it's an acquired taste that I haven't quite acquired yet, but I do hope that some of these games will maybe turn me towards them and show me what Bloodstained and Castlevania are in a more positive light. Not that I have a negative perception of them, I just like haven't given them the time they deserve. Alright, second to the last game here, and the last limited run pickup for this time around. This is Project Warlock. This is a game that I was really hyped over when I first heard about it. It was one guy, like I think he was 18 years old, doing this by himself while he was in high school. Created this first-person shooter game that's sort of a throwback to like your Dooms and your Quakes and whatnot. And what I really thought was cool about it, which I thought was a bigger mode or option in the game than what it is, but apparently it's meant to look sort of like those PC, 90s PC first-person games like I mentioned, like a Doom or a Quake or a Wolfenstein or something like that. But in this game, there's like filters or things you can select so that you can play the game in what looks like it's a Game Boy game, like the green and black screen, or some other like 90s console effects to it. I really thought that was supposed to be a huge selling point, but in the end, it's just that everybody really thinks it's a great game, which that excites me. I see on the back that it's like, it says there's over 60 levels. 60 vast levels in 5 settings, from frozen Antarctic base to the sands of Egypt. Combat enemies ranging from flying demons to 5-story robots. Just, it's really cool. Like with the Bloodstain and Castlevania games, like this style of game in the 90s was there, and I played some of them every once in a while. I don't love these games, but I'll still sit down and play them. And I kind of hope that every time I get something like this, or Doom 64, or Ion Fury, or I think I have a game that's called something like Strafe. There's a bunch of different games that are made to look like this style of game, and I'm just hoping that, maybe they'll just kind of become my shit if I play some of those games often enough. And I'm really hoping that this is going to be a big one in swaying me over into that. Okay, and the last game I have to show, not oddly enough, but funnily enough, is on my TV right now because I've been playing it today. This was a limited run game that I missed when it came to limited run, and waiting paid off in that I didn't have to go get it off of eBay, and I got a better version of the game now, and that's Observer System Redux. This is a, if you've heard of them, Bloober Team, the people behind The Medium and Layers of Fear, I believe, and the Blair Witch game, I think. I could be wrong on that. But they're known for like horror games, and this is a cyberpunk, like a dark cyberpunk psychological horror game starring Rutger Hauer as the main character. Rest in peace. I had forgot that he'd passed a couple years ago. Appropriate, I guess, that he would be in a cyberpunk game because he was one of the actors in Blade Runner. So far, this has been a really cool game. It's got a neat detective mode, I guess you would call it. You have a couple ways to examine a scene, a crime scene or whatever, for technological and biological evidence. But the sequence I was just playing before I decided I need to sit down and do this video was very bizarre, like super trippy. Getting inside the mind of a guy to try to find out who killed him before this person dies, and getting a bunch of glimpses of their life. It's very interesting. I don't think this game is super long, so I'll be curious to see how much of that I get to do in the totality of this game, but I really am enjoying it so far, and like I said, just glad that I waited. Only $30 at Best Buy. Okay, well, that does it for this video, so hopefully not too long, and then, like I said, we'll get back to a regular schedule for this and some other things. I'm probably going to be doing a video just talking about some of the games I've been playing recently while they're still relatively fresh. I don't remember exactly how I was doing it a couple years ago, but I noticed looking, kind of scanning through my videos, I had some stuff that was like the monthly roundup, and I think what that was me talking about the games I'd played, movies or shows I'd watched the previous month. And the idea of kind of like scheduling a couple particular kinds of videos, like at the end of every month, going over that kind of stuff, I think might be really cool. And then during the month, just doing whatever I want. Vlogging, the stuff like the top 30 video games, which that'll continue pretty soon. I think I could do that as long as everything stays good with like having regular internet. I think I could get back to doing something like that. Okay, so anyway, enough talking, guys. Thanks for watching, man. We'll see you next time.